It's raining today. Was kind of hot. Still 80 something degrees, but you know, it's cooling down because of the rain, thankfully. I spent last week in Florida. I had it was a great week. It really was. Donna and I had not been on a vacation, just me and her, in so many years. So many years. So we went to Sarasota, Florida. That's the SRJ, which is the abbreviation for the airport. That's the airport name there, and so they call themselves SRJ. And while we were there, we toured the John Ringling. What's his wife's name? Because she deserves so much credit for things as well. An amazing art museum and a museum of circus history. It was amazing. There was this model, filled an entire giant room, and it was a handmade model of a scale-sized circus. All the performers it was based off back in the day when the train pulled into town with all the circus animals, all the circus performers, all the tents, everything, and they had to set up the big tents in hours, and it was just so amazing. You know, they did had the calliope go through the town, and they'd have people, you know, juggling and everything, and elephants walking down the streets and getting everybody excited about the circus. And then they would have this big tent up that would hold up to 15,000 people, and they would have acrobats and performers and lion tamers and horse shows and just so many just crazy, amazing things. I never got to go to Ringling Brothers Barber Circus. I always wanted to go. I never got to go to one, but you know, the heyday in the late 1800s, early 1900s, all these famous clowns and everything, that was, you know, a long time ago. So, yeah. So those days are over, and but it was just such an amazing model built by somebody named something Howard. I can't remember his last name, but I took pictures of his what his workshop looked back then, and then we went through and saw all these posters from Ringling Brother Barnabas' heyday, and then from other circuses that existed, and this place about clowns and acrobats, famous acrobats, and the outfits they wore, and the big banners they had, and the costumes they wore, the things they put on the big tarps or whatever they put on the elephants, more like blankets. I don't know why I call them a tarp, but I was just looking for the word. And so it was just so amazing. And then you saw all these fancy, there was a Rolls Royce Phantom Ghost, which was the limousine that John Ringling and his wife rode around in. Then they had a train car that was the Wisconsin, it was called, that they traveled in when they went traveling around the world, around the country to do the circus. Amazing stuff. And then you see their art museum. They were art collectors. There was lots of works by Dutch masters and Renaissance artists. Then there was drawings by Japanese artists. They had an Asia exhibit, and they had drawings by Japanese artists. A lot of those were nudes, but it was just such an incredible thing. And then Don and I were in an Airbnb, single bed, had a kitchenette, shower, bathroom. You know, it was everything you needed. Super small. Had a little area where you could put. Donna took her hammock. We put the hammock out there, so that was cool. So she could get in the hammock and chill. But it was so hot, And I don't know how, but it was so hot, hotter than here. You know, it was like we have 100% humidity and 91 degrees, but their 100% humidity with 91 degrees felt hotter. It was as if the sun was closer to the earth. So it was interesting, really interesting that way. And so, excuse me. But it was interesting how hot it was, just crazy. But Don and I went to a different restaurant every night. We did go back to the Columbia in Sarasota twice. The second time we took our daughter, she was at Ringling College of Art for a summer camp to work on some art projects, add stuff to her portfolio, and kind of build up a resume to show to art colleges when she's ready to apply to college, which will not be long. Probably next year, because she will be in the 11th grade. So anyway, it was an incredible time. We had a great time. We also went to kayaking. We had a guided kayak tour where the guy just told us so much history about the Ringling family and about the area, how the mangroves were kind of like the protectors of the island, helping keep it as safe as best it could from hurricanes, because mangroves can grow roots up to 12 feet deep in the ground, and they usually survive the hurricanes. So they've helped out during storm surges and that type of thing in the past when they've happened. So that was really cool. It was a good trip. I still worked. I worked Monday and Tuesday, and then I attended meetings Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. I was on pretend time off, and Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday I had to attend meetings because this is a gigantic, humongous project that will be the death of me probably. So yes. Anyway, that was my week last week, so it was awesome. All right, I gotta go pick up some food. I'm on my Uber Eats run for the family. So, bye.